Hello everybody, welcome back to Gerhard Supply TV, episode 3. We missed you last week. We were busy eating a bunch of chocolate, courtesy of the Easter Bunny. Since our last YouTube video, we have a ton of new arrivals have come in, so I am going to be doing the walkthrough of that this week, showing you what's new. Spring weather is upon us. I was back on my bike today, feeling good about that. Touch of rain, so got me thinking we got to show off what rain gear and spring gear we have. Point is, there's a lot to show you, and deep dive this week will be on Echizenya, who Lang is going to be going through their story on.
Yeah, for sure. We could do a dive on every piece James is going to be talking through in the new arrivals, but the spotlight goes to Echizenya this week, a brand we've had for a couple seasons in the store, but are really kind of making some space to talk about today. You want to get into it?
Yeah, without further ado. All right, guys, follow me. I'm going to show you the new arrivals. Small drop from Outclass. There's your card shirts here. Come on in and get a good look at these. That's a weaving process where they weave in the pattern rather than print it on. Gives you a very couchy, thick kind of feel there. Show you some new stuff from Naked and Famous as well. Also some nice jacquard prints here with a sort of jungle leafy print going on. Similar kind of woven in pattern. And their Dobby shirt here, giving Big Lebowski bowling vibes, linen blend going on there, nice and airy and light. Speaking of linen, they have a linen denim blend true shirt, very, very nice fabric, and with that indigo dye on there, that'll have its own sort of wash and fading over time. Moving on, the last Naked and Famous pieces to highlight is their tabby denim. Got a bit of a combination here with the chore coat. And we have the Easy Guy jeans. So their tabby is also a linen denim blend, 11.5 ounces, very nice, lightweight for the spring that's now upon us. And the linen has a very natural element to it. You can see picking up some sort of the natural seed flex and slubbiness popping out there. So very, very handsome fabric being used from the Naked and Famous guys there.
And don't let us get in the way of you getting the full outfit.
Yeah, that's a vibe right there. Our biggest drop since the last video we did is Arc'teryx and Arc'teryx Valence. Arc'teryx's mission in general is to negate the weather, to make it irrelevant. But people often ask what the difference is between Arc'teryx and Valence. Essentially, Arc'teryx mainline is their outdoor program, while Valence is their city urban program. As you can see with the Alpha SV jacket, these chest pockets here are placed in such a way that you can tuck your hands into your chest for survival warmth on that mountain peak, while the field jacket here from Valence, meant for an urban setting, is going to have more ergonomic, just side pockets, stowaway hood for a bit more of a sleek sort of urban look. And ultimately, both are Gore-Tex waterproof and will negate the weather, just different kind of context and aesthetics in both of them there. We'll be doing a deep dive, believe me, on all of this, but lots of new arrivals there to highlight, and I'm going to hand it on to Lang now to talk about our special feature.
Okay, deep dive this week is going to be on Echizenya, a brand we've been working with for a few seasons now. They're from Kyushu, which is the southernmost main island of the archipelago. They are a Japanese pant manufacturer, so not a designer, they are the manufacturer. They were established in 1949, so as part of Japan's post-war rapid industrialization period, which really focused on sort of government involvement in manufacturing and development of new technology. So it was this real turbocharged period of Japan's economic growth, which really relied on factories and technology. Technology is really kind of central to the Echizenya brand. They have developed a proprietary machine, which they're sort of best known for, which presses a curve into the fabric before the cutting and sewing happens. It gives you a very three-dimensional seat and thighs, a very comfortable fit and a very natural stride. They develop their own textiles, so they're not a textile weaver, but they do have exclusive contracts with mills nearby. So all of the Echizenya fabrics are their own proprietary fabrics that you won't see in any other lines. Really just a hyper specialized product. They don't make jackets. There's no jackets to match. It's just pants. They're hyper-focused on one product. How can we optimize this product? How can we make the best pant possible? Each pant has 150 unique steps in the construction process. They pass through dozens of specialized hands, and they have, as I mentioned earlier, they have their own technology, their own machinery, proprietary, which is found nowhere else in the world, to help them execute this highly advanced, focused, specialized process. A little bit about the name, which actually ties into, I guess, a strong value proposition. The name Echizenya is completely made up. It means nothing. Back when they were getting started, they were trying to win contracts with all of these Italian manufacturers. And so they just came up with the parent company name is Eminento, which also means, maybe it means something, but it means nothing to them.
Sounds Italian.
Yeah, the point was that it sounded Italian, and that's the only thing that was useful for them. And then Echizenya, same thing. They were like, it sounds Italian. Okay, let's put it. And then, we can sort of fudge an Italian identity so that we can manufacture for all the luxury department store Italian brands, which is exactly what they did. They did a really, really high level, good quality product for a very good price. Back then, I was talking to my dad when I was a kid. He was saying that made in Japan used to be a sort of slanderous term that you would use to describe something that is, cheap and mass produced. But they were very competent manufacturers. Again, the government involvement in the factories, big focus on developing new groundbreaking technology. But the made in Japan brand just wasn't quite there yet as it is today. So it was weird. They kind of masqueraded as this Italian company so that they could win white label contracts with Italian luxury department stores, luxury boutiques, and they could be the manufacturer. They had the same quality, if not higher, and they could do it for a fraction of the price. So what I always tell people, like at the store, is Echizenya is a very, very high value proposition. The pants, usually we do more expensive fabrics, so like the linens, the wools, the cashmere blends, those ones we price at $295, and then the ones that are more like cotton canvases, cotton twills, those ones are usually priced at $275 Canadian. Compare that with, if you buy a pair of Canalis or something like that, like you're going to be looking at $500, $600, $700. My frank personal opinion is that you're getting the same thing with Echizenya for half the price, and honestly more interesting fabrics and more interesting cuts. So you don't buy Echizenya in the way that you buy most of the brands that we stock here. They, instead of giving you a catalog with sort of like 16 configurations that the brand thinks are the most relevant and the best for their collection, Echizenya literally lets you do whatever you want. So they have, 25 odd fits. They give me a giant box like this big full of fabric swatches with honestly like hundreds of fabrics to choose from. I have tens of thousands of combinations that I can do. So in an effort to sort of cut through all of this choice, we've really focused on 3 fits. Again, I'm just trying to keep the blinders on and get the 3 fits that are the most useful that I can get my clientele familiar with. You've got, their nomenclature is all numbered. So you've got the 125, which is their wide leg with a double pleat. You've got the 122, which I'm actually wearing right now. It's similar to the 125 in that it's got a double pleat front, but it tapers. I've done like a 0 break hem, but they all come with a 32-inch inseam that you can hem or cuff in some cases, or leave if 32 is good for you. So they're 125 double pleat straight, 122 double pleat taper, and then you've got the 110, which is a flat front, so not a lot of waist architecture, no pleats. But what's really interesting about the 110 is the waistband is sort of a loose. The waistband is run loose, and then it has a built-in elastic gusset, so it doesn't look elasticized at all, but it has quite a bit of flex. So it's a very slim trouser with a lot of flex. Nice. That's just on the 110. The 122s and the 125 don't really need that because the double pleat front is sort of your mechanical stretch. So no stretch needed because it's already it already has a very flexible top block. Now, I'll get into the fabrics really quick. I guess because I'm holding this already, we'll start with the 110s. You get the peached cotton. So it's a super, super lightweight, 100% cotton. When something is peached, what that means is it has the texture of the skin of a peach. So are you able to get in really close and see a bit of the natural fuzziness?
I am.
Yeah.
Probably nicely illustrated on the peachy pink
Let's
as
go
well.
through these colors. So here, you've got this tan, you've got this charcoal, you've got like a lilac pink, and you've got navy. So all of this is in a really like lightweight spring summer peached cotton. And then in the 122s, again, this is the relaxed double pleat taper. You have a 90% cotton, 10% linen canvas in this sort of like army green drab. And then you've also got natural, which is cool because like the tabby that James was showing earlier, you've got the seed pods sort of left intact. So you can actually see the guts of the fabric, let's call it. And then you've got also in the 122 fit, so again, double pleat, some waist architecture. This is a wool seersucker. So it is, I think I touched on this quickly in an earlier video. There's tropical wool. So tropical wool is a wool that you can really wear in the summer.
Very lightweight.
Yeah, and seersucker is a weave like this sort of high-low texture is designed to keep fabric off your skin. So it creates little channels for airflow between your between your body and the textile, while also just being a really lightweight wool. Now, in our 125s, we have these they're quite dense cottons, but I would say despite the density, they're good for the summer just because it's such a loose, relaxed fit. So you've got that sort of airflow. These ones are dyed with real indigo as well. So you can expect a little bit of fading, a little bit of lightening, maybe a little bit of blending between the white and the indigo over time. Sort of like, they'll behave kind of like the jeans up on our wall of fade. And now we've got some more on clearance that I'll show you as well. Yeah, no, we still got some options here. So if you're interested too in getting into Echizenya and you want a good price on your first pair, definitely there's still some options here to look into. We don't have a ton of size availability, but if we got your size, let's
chunkier winter fabrics.
Yeah, let's go crazy.
Leftovers. Good stuff back here. So quick fit check. Show and tell is always fun. Lang, what are we wearing today?
Margaret Howell linen denim shirt. I've got the Echizenya Sage West Point cotton twills in the 122 fit. I've got these dirty ass Viberg 2050 Chelseas. And what do you got?
I'm wearing our Saturday Project black Q-Pro shirt. We showed off a couple in our first episode. The Black Cobra stretch selvage Naked and Famous jeans and Easy Guy, still breaking those in. Some super dirty Bluntstones I'm wearing today. It's pouring and muddy outside and I'm on a bike, so I'm not trying to ruin my shoes.
I'll allow it.
And yeah, what else? Accessories with the Masterpiece video coming soon on these guys. And you know what? We're going to just wrap it up there. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
We're going to see you next week.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.